welcome back to... What was with the synchronized nod? That was
The second...
Yeah, not the first one of those that has happened during attempted recording of this.
Good shit.
Welcome back to Downtime Activities. Welcome back to the Curian Empire Dungeons & Dragons campaign. 5th edition, Epic 6. Inspired by the Roman Empire, though we've diverted from that history significantly. When last we left off, you guys had... your plan had gone flawlessly.
Flawlessly executed.
The old
every
apple,
ship
apple
of a
box.
small fleet.
To be fair, we had no plan, and it went well. It executed
I
flawlessly.
think we just need to stop making plans and just
If you have a plan,
rush.
there's a chance. If you have a plan, there's a chance the plan can go wrong. If you don't have a plan,
Whatever happens,
whatever happens
that's fine.
was
Totally the plan.
It was totally the plan. You guys have the fighting has stopped. The decks of these 3 ships are awash with blood. And drifting off the coast of Iaera in the middle of the night is this small fleet of vessels.
I'm gonna look to my group and just speak. I'm gonna speak calm and be like, "Does anybody know how to sail the ship?"
Some of the elves will know how to sail the ship.
Oh, okay, good. I have companions on the other 2. You may want to go meet up with them.
We need to be over there.
Right now we're here, but you see those over there? That's where we want to be.
Why is the elf talking down to us? Or why is the dwarf talking down to us?
Well, I have to talk down to you because I can't talk up to you.
Big cheer. Anyone who's a Curian soldier, not just a sailor, strip off their armor and weapons, give them a eat out into the sea, tell them good luck swimming back to shore.
You don't leave them in their metal armor and say good luck.
No, we're gonna reuse that.
I'm gonna roll percentile dice to see the percentage of them that can swim.
And I will tell the ones leaving my ship that
It's not good.
any of you strong
It's
enough,
not a high number of them that can
any of you
swim.
strong enough who are strong enough swimmers to make it to shore, make your way back to a city, let them know Tersius Praxis has bested you this day. Yeet.
I am Charlotte Crane.
And I will just express to all the soldiers on my boat that I am Tersius Praxis, son of the Praxis line of Themis, and that I have a location, some funding, and some friends to help start a real rebellion. And what I need is good soldiers, which is why I came to liberate all of you. They saved themselves. I liberated them. They saved themselves.
I'm gonna wipe off like all the wine and the blood from my head. Just be like, I'll introduce myself. My name's Wolf Thornton. I'm traveling with Tersius Praxis, starting a rebellion. I don't know much of the details. We have a place and funds, and we're looking for capable people.
I'm just here for the good times.
I'm just here for the wine barrels and the blood bags.
I mean, Wolf's here, but he doesn't really.
You're here because you're one of the homies that
Yeah.
wants to help support my dreams of rebellion.
You and me both, sister.
Yeah,
You're here for the
I'm
story.
part of it.
You're here for the alcohol
Exactly.
and the bloodshed.
Exactly. So I'll be like, yeah, you'll probably have a bigger spiel for you. So
They'll give you the onboarding speech, and
good luck.
Anastasia is going to kind of loosely direct the crew to get at least the ship that you guys are on up alongside one of the other ones. It's Wolf's ship. And she seemed like, you can tell, as a lot of these elves definitely seem to know each other, and there's a lot of, handshaking and talking about the, what the fuck just happened. Anastasia sees you, and by seeing you knows that Tersius isn't on board.
I just wave like
As they see another ship coming to them, dock up on the opposite on the other side.
She'll she'll clap you on the back.
Do I? Yeah. So I see Wolf as well. Man, you look like shit. What happened?
red wine.
That doesn't help me, but I'm gonna.
Red
take
wine
that.
always does this to him.
I'm
He's
gonna
really
take-
gotta stop drinking.
I gotta stop dealing with the red wine, man.
Every time I drink,
You get a couple Merlots in me and you just don't know what's going on.
standing on
In a
board,
field of blood.
standing on board a Curian slave ship with a bunch of freed prisoners.
Oh, man, you-
drenched head
you
to
ma-
toe in red wine and blood.
Ow,
Dude,
wrong pipe.
I know I should have had that last bottle of that last glass of Cabernet Sauvignon.
you missed it. I sucked the soul out of 2 of these Curian soldiers.
Welcome to every D&D party ever. Yeah, we could have one more round of wine. 5 minutes later,
In the middle
they're
of a
on
burning
board a
village.
ship out in the middle of the ocean.
Surrounded by dead soldiers.
What
I'm
the hell?
not sure how we got here, but we missed one hell of a part.
You don't want to be around Wolf when he's been on the Pinot Gris.
We need to get rid of all the alcohol on the ship right now.
All the wine. He's fine with his own brew.
I'm fine with
It's
my
just
own
not
brew
the-
and the
just no
alchemy
wine.
jug, but no wine.
No wine.
But your
He turns into a real monster.
your ships can all dock
Okay.
together.
Assuming that they've gotten a similar-ish spiel, I'll kind of give the same one loudly to the group, saying like, to give some clarification on what the fuck just happened to all of you,
This is not a scary sea monster by Poseidon.
this is a dwarf and a friend. And that big scary other bloody thing that's much taller but also quite hairy, also a friend.
Don't even try to say
They
it.
would recognize a tabaxi.
Yes.
The dwarf you would have to explain.
I am Tersius Praxis, the line that once ruled Themis.
You might have heard of me.
You might have heard of my family. I'm a nobody. I'm trying to fix that, but currently here in Iaera, my name doesn't mean a whole lot apart from my last name.
Please love me.
I was.
Stay on topic, Tersius.
I'll get better at these speeches, I swear. You didn't see the last one. It was riveting.
It was something, alright.
Our hope is to do as I think the lot of you were trying to do, raise up a true rebellion, retake Iaera. We needed soldiers for that, and that's where you all come in. We have a very safe place hidden away, a fortress needing some work, but certainly hidden from Curian eyes, and have found ourselves a decent chunk of finances to help start this rebellion. As well as from some past adventures, we have some other favors we can call in to help in that regard as well. You are, of course, free, once we get to this place, or on our way there, to make for the homeland and go back to normal lives, but I'm guessing by the fact you are on this boat means that you are no friends of Curian, and therefore are friends of mine and friends of this rebellion.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
And I'd like to know whoever's in charge here, if there was someone of you as a group, love to meet him.
You'll be introduced to an elf named Pyrrhus.
Pyrrhus?
Pyris.
Okay.
Who was one of the leaders of this group when they were a more organized rebellion, and is still kind of considered a leader now that they're both sort of while they were in captivity and now that they've been freed. he's one of the elves who has armed himself.
Okay. Helmet off. Handshake. Warrior shake. Like, as I said, I'm Tersius. If you were leader of these men, I would ask that you continue to be such, as the first of hopefully many in the army of this rebellion.
We'll need arms and armor.
We hope to acquire some of that through friendships we've made in the Tabaxi Kingdom.
Can also throw some stuff together.
We also have the ability to craft some things, as well as with numbers. and some documentation that we have stolen in recent days. In recent days, the ability to strike some caravans of supplies, though most caravans, unfortunately, aren't moving arms and armor.
Quite a cough there. You got Pyrrhus.
Pyrrhus. Don't cough on me.
Congratulations, you all die of tuberculosis. This is ancient.
Mangles!
No, I don't die. I cast Spare the Dying, and I live, but barely.
When I
let it
Just
pass.
need a little more rebels.
when I use that in Devils of the West, when it's like I need to keep you all on track before you all fuck off to Tahiti or some shit. I just went mangoes, Arthur.
That murdered me. That's good.
It was really good. I mean, they are at least all going to sail with you till you reach whatever this safe place is. Some of them, quite a few people, are just the like these people stuck their neck out for us. What they just pulled off here was utterly batshit. Let's see where this goes.
Mm.
Some seem to be like, let's see what this safe place looks like. Because they claim to have one.
Once all the fighting dies and the adrenaline wears off, I'm hanging over the ship. The seasickness is getting to me.
There are no shortage of hands to pat you consolingly on the back.
The sea monsters. Afraid of the sea?
I'll try and reappropriate people between ships to where there's at least a couple people who know what the hell they're doing sailing a ship on each one. And then try and kind of guide the front middle ship, let them fall in line and head towards the city.
Okay.
The sailors, the non-Curian soldier, like sailors on board, they don't get yeeted off.
Okay.
They, are they like
They're
humans? Like, are they Curians?
It's a mixture of humans and elves.
Okay.
They get the option of either joining us or death.
No. they
to
are
die.
non-combatants.
Join us or die.
It's join or be dropped off on the coast, basically.
About half the elven sailors will join.
Okay. The rest, we'll let one of the ships pull off pretty close, then yeet them off. Where they're like, 100 feet out, not out at sea, and let them paddle their happy asses into land.
And then you're heading for Acrosileta and Sileta.
Yes.
Okay. With people manning the oars, which these former prisoners will do quite happily, now that they're
Not in chains.
not that they're being forced to do it. You can make very good time back along the coast, to your little hidden enclave. And the cave in this cliff is large enough for these ships to pass through.
It'll be kind of I know it looks like we're paddling straight towards cliffside. You're gonna have to trust me.
I assume resources and health back.
Yep. Yeah. You guys, it will be a few days. So you guys can definitely recover any lost hit points or use abilities or whatnot.
I'm doing better.
Stomach's calmed down a little
Maybe
bit.
he's starting to get used to this sort of thing.
Nope.
Unlikely. Yeah, sail on in and start unloading and setting up. I assume there was a decent amount of some rations and stuff on board the ship, which will help set us up for some amount of time here.
Hey, Tersius, how come there's all these eaten cores of apples?
I don't know what you're talking about. Everyone, let's unload this stuff.
Also,
Hey,
we
Wolf,
still
how
have
come this-
those seeds and stuff from the ancient
Oh, yeah.
olive wood?
Yeah. Oh, we also just have some ancient olive wood, don't we?
Yes, sir.
Well, do you have that with you, or is that on your ship?
That's on our boat.
Yeah.
Shit. Are we able to swing by where we parked our boat and pick it up on the way?
You would have to backtrack in order to get it. You left it not far from this.
Oh, did we leave our horses in Themis too?
I think we had to have.
Shit. We gotta go back.
Can we retroactively say we backtrack to pick up our boat?
Sure.
Sure, yay!
Yay! We backtrack, pick up our boat and our horses.
Yay!
Yeah, I think it's relevant because I think those seeds should be planted very soon.
If somebody would like to start keeping track of your various assets and the things in your fortress, that would not be a bad idea. And you can mark that you have 4 ships. 3, which are decent sized. 1 is quite a bit small.
Three big sheep, 1 small sheep.
I guess talking to the group of them, is there anybody with a decent amount of farming experience?
Quite a few of these people. Quite a few of these people were farmers once.
Cool.
There are a lot of different trades here.
Good.
Fishermen, farmers, some craftsmen.
We need repairs to buildings and land as soon as possible.
I think immediately give the small ship to a group of them who have fishing experience to start fishing to try and get some food production going.
Okay.
Any craftsmen to everybody to start cleaning the place up. Craftsmen to help start repairing some buildings, just like even if it's makeshift stuff, just to have some roofs over people's heads and some sleeping quarters and the like.
Clean, repair, and land.
It's quite obvious to all of them. Anastasia and Pyrus in particular seem pretty impressed by it's like how did you ever find this place? It's like this it was like you weren't kidding when you said you had a safe place. They seem like across the board it's obvious to them, but Anastasia and Pyrus in particular seem pretty impressed.
The
And
answer
it
I
needs
will
a lot of
probably
work,
pretty
but-
consistently give to them is the gods wanted it to be in our possession for this exact thing.
There are so many places lost to time that if you just look back into some history.
Yes, this is the first time that Axe has been here.
Yeah. Writing in the fancy tome. Just got some members to Rebellion, LOL, smiley face. Our messengers.
Oh yeah, we also send a message to ask to talk to Ventus, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
And you would hear back from Azim that he managed to track down Aventus. Aventus didn't really give him a straight answer, but
We'll see.
he told Aventus.
And we already sent a missive out to the Claws
Mm-hmm.
to see if there's anything they could do for us.
I don't think I've heard anything back yet.
No, I mean that'll take some time. I mean we have some time. We'll just kind of. Initially, it's going to be kind of getting the place in order for probably a week or so.
Yeah.
Getting roofs and stuff over some of these old buildings, just getting it set up to make it livable for people.
Anastasia and Paris in particular they essentially want to have a council of war. As far as a few important things on they want to discuss what the plan is, sort of in general.
I think I'm going to spend the first day we get there using my carpentry skills to carve out a table and build it up in the fortress.
Yeah. And that's,
have a table for us to
that's
stand around and talk and stuff.
That's one of the things that they want sort of on the docket as a high priority is getting the fortress repaired. And getting obviously getting as much of the sort of facilities of the village up and running. Pyrrhus immediately starts sort of sending out scouts to scout the surrounding countryside just so they can learn the land, learn land routes in and out.
I'll express to them that we have the assets they see, what I've listed to them, and 3,000 gold as far as funds in the current coffers in this place.
So that's so you guys with your various assets can kind of begin coming up with a plan as far as how you want some of this to work. You will be able to get building supplies, stone and timber, in particularly either from the surrounding area, or it can be purchased from. There would be enough small ports that would be willing to sort of do business quietly, especially amongst islands and stuff like that out further out to sea, who would be probably monitored a little less than.
I feel like stone, especially, just for the sake of, we don't really want to quarry a bunch of stone that's just labor intensive and time consuming. So if we can purchase that to make it quick and get the fortress like up and running first priority, then I think that's worth spending some money on.
You won't, and you won't be able to. With the funds you have, you won't be able to get it like completely rebuilt, but you could get it
some functional
defensible
walls and
and
defensible positions.
functional.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of how much of your funds you want to allot for that. Then of course, like you have approximately 300 people.
Mm-hmm.
For a while, food's not going to be an issue. But if you want them to be a functional rebellion, arms and armor, you're going to need a significant quantity of arms and armor.
Well, we need them to be healthy people first, so food and sustenance, and
Yeah, I think starting crop and stuff in the area, having some farms going is big. Having the small ship be a fishing vessel that just is kind of consistently going out and fishing will be pretty big.
also trading for food and seeds, things that can help last.
Livestock, stuff like that.
We need
Arms and armor is a question. I guess we don't know if the claws are gonna hook us up with anything or what if they do. So until we know that, also like bring out all the documents we stole and let both Pyrrhus and her name somewhere. Anastasia. I think it's somewhere. I'll write it again.
with a complete long shot here. Would I know of any myth or story about a defeated army or something of people that were just laid to waste? That
Great battlefields.
Yeah.
Would they be rusty armor though?
I mean, maybe, but it also could be stronger and potentially helpful, or coming from an area where they would have made better weapons, maybe materials. Yeah, would I know of anything?
I mean, you'd know plenty of stories of ancient battles. Both of you would, all over Iaera, but you'd suspect that like
Nothing
if
special.
there
probably
is
picked
anything
over.
left, it's not going to be in any usable condition. It would pretty much have to be like his armor, where it's like
I wonder, could
made to
It's magical.
we
survive the passage of time.
wonder if we were to send some people, like send Anastasia to what was the first town we went to where we attacked the quarters?
Canis?
That blacksmith there that was sympathetic to our cause. If we were to send somebody to them, be like, hey, would you be willing to?
I think it would help having someone that could do it, but I think the
We need
material would
materials
be
too.
hard.
Yeah, that's fair.
Which
I'd be
so
surprised if you have
yes.
some number of blacksmiths amongst the people who are on board that ship.
Fair enough.
It's just kind of a matter of it wouldn't hurt to have him because he's a like traditional Iaeran blacksmith. We just need to get materials. That's kind of how we want to spend this.
Louis, don't we have a bunch of old Tabaxi friends that we could totally invite here? One in particular that used to be big into trade.
Well, we reached out to the Claws. They're kind of doing their own thing out there. I don't know if they'll come and join our rebellion, but I'm just hoping they'll send us some help. Since we liberated their city from siege.
Literally, while we're
Just saying.
we're all getting
Verina was liberated by our actions.
it's literally the two towers. We're building up the defenses of the tower, and we just hear a horn go off in the distance.
Hey, we're short-staffed today. Lol, that sucks. Good luck.
Can you come into work?
Your
You
poor
can,
planning is not my problem.
I mean, one thing you can essentially do if you want is, out of the funds you have, sort of decide, to sort of allot certain chunks of it towards certain things, or you can, attempt to do it the D&D player way by stealing everything that you need. It's kind of up to you guys how you want to proceed.
Having arms and armor makes us more capable of stealing other things.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not... I don't think we should try and hit a barrack and steal their stuff, because we're going to have a bunch of guys using sharpened sticks
Yeah.
against soldiers.
Shouldn't hit a barrack yet.
Also, with it being noted, I want to try and help train a few people with being able to scavenge and actually build up some kind of armor and weapons, so they're not, for lack of a better word, defenseless in every way. Whether that's just sharpened sticks or what, I think anything will help.
Okay.
How do we want to allocate these funds? Of the 3,000.
The hard thing is, I think we have a lot that we need to repair, and I know that's going to be costly, but armor, just the material alone for armor and weapons is going to be the most, So I think whatever's most important right now for the long term, and then another chunk set aside that we'll need to add to for more.
Mm-hmm.
And we essentially have food, good, rations and good, food supplies covered, because we'll be growing stuff and fishing.
And a lot of
And then I have water. I have the alchemy jug, so water.
But you guys also have there's a really good natural spring in the fortress.
Yeah.
That's
Water was there. Food will be a little more questionable, because even if it's a decent size, a fishing vessel and crops that are still having to we're planting them, they're not growing yet. So feeding 300
But
people.
there are also sort of
Animals
old
to hunt
fields,
and old fields, yeah.
old orchards and stuff like that around here. You're not at risk of starving it.
So we can
So
let
that's good.
food be. Our needs are covered, not our wants. I feel like we spend 1,000 gold worth of raw material for the fortress.
Yeah.
We just take a third of our overall funds right off the top, just to start building up something to make it defensible.
Fair enough.
That sound reasonable?
Yeah.
Okay.
We allocate 1,000 gold pieces to fortress repair.
Okay. You can do so.
Arms and armor.
I think it is one of the more important things, but it's going to be the most expensive thing.
I think potentially trying to get forges going and buying raw material and having blacksmiths forge stuff would probably be the more cost-effective way
Yeah.
to do it.
Because if we can get stone for cheap and they can start forges, then it's just going to be training and materials.
I think between you and Anastasia, these guys already have some combat experience, but I feel like we've got a couple. Myself, you, and Anastasia could pretty easily train in some war, combat, sword and shield fighting kind of stuff.
Some kind of tactician. We got shelter, food, water. So survival's taken care of. Martial training, so defenses, a defensible place.
Well hidden place too.
And they know of us, but they don't really know us yet. Know about us yet. I don't think they're probably looking for us after the stunt we just pulled, but they don't really know where to look.
Is there anything we've already decided to try and set up trade with other places? So that I think that can exponentially become better the more people we can reach in the long run.
Yes, but we
they
don't
want to
really
do it quietly.
we don't really want to import a bunch of stuff from outside sources, because that shows people where we are. We need our fortress rebuilt before we're doing that. We also don't have a whole lot to export.
Yeah, we don't have much to trade.
Yeah.
Is there any people with specific skills that we need to try and search for?
I mean, carpenters, stonemasons for repairs, blacksmiths to refine the raw material into usable equipment, farmers for farming, fishers
If
for fishing.
there's any one person who's dramatically good at what they do, we might have to set aside a chunk of money to try and lure them to us. Please help.
I think talking through with these people and letting if they have family members or anything like that that would want to relocate here. I want a labor force that's not also our military force. Skilled laborers. Or just laborers who aren't also soldiers.
That can become skilled.
That can become skilled over time. I think doing small outings of groups of people going and like getting family or friends and relocating them here would be big. If that is possible.
Okay. Some would almost certainly be willing to do so.
And then it also, people are happier if they get to go home to their like significant others and kids. If that's what they're building a home and a life
And then
for
you
their...
recruit all their significant others and kids into the military.
Exactly.
They'll fight harder to defend them.
That's right.
Yes.
Well, you know, that's why all the Spartans were butt banging each other all the time, is because you never fight stronger for somebody than the person that you're having sex with. That's standing right next to you.
Actually, it wasn't the Spartans, but there was specifically a Greek military unit
That
during
did do
the
that.
later chunk of like classical
They were
Greek
all
history
lovers.
that were all lovers, yeah. And they were extremely effective, apparently.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I'd have to find my notes from the old history class to remember.
So I started having sex with everybody. Everybody.
You keep that to yourself.
And then I think we buy, like 1,500 worth of raw materials, so that we have a big stock of raw materials to start refining and turning into equipment.
Yeah.
Does that seem like overboard, or does that seem reasonable?
I think that's reasonable. We
Yeah.
might consider reaching back out to that blacksmith and seeing if he can do anything in bulk. If we're ordering a bunch of stuff at once, might be a little
I think convincing him to
suspicious.
relocate here and just be a smith for us would be best.
Yeah.
In one of those little outings of people, they could go and ask him if he wants to.
I do think if we were able to have him start making stuff before we got to him, though, we'd at least have weapons or armor, whichever one we're doing, and then be like, all right, we have stuff. Also, yes, no, blah, 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 we're prepped anyways, as opposed to waiting for him to come back. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't really want him to be in a caravan transporting arms and armor though, because that's easier to stop
Yeah,
and question and
If-
get them in trouble and
I don't want to
question
say
them.
if there's enough of us going, then it's separated out, but I feel like in the amount of time it takes for us to get there, we'd also be able to get word to him somehow to start doing stuff like that instead of the wait time, which I think could be significant.
The only thing is with
Because he's
getting word to him, we'd have to send a messenger, right? And why not just send the messenger
to grab it.
to grab him and have him start walking here, you know? Because we don't have phones and stuff. We don't have... There's no email.
There's no message told.
So, like, by the time someone could get to him to share the message, they could be getting to him, sharing the message and saying, come with me, I'll show you where it's at. You
Right,
know?
right.
That might be the quickest turnaround time. If he's even willing to come out.
Our next search is for people. Find good people and material.
Okay, so you're doing the 1,000 for stone.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing 1,500 for
raw material.
steel and leather, let's say, or iron. and
Real
leather,
quick,
essentially.
before we
Mhm.
lock that in, does it seem like with 1,000 towards the structure that it's relatively close to being finished, or would you say like we did about half of the work?
So using timber from the surrounding area because the woods here are very overgrown, and with 1,000 gold worth of stone, you think you can probably get the walls into a defensible state, and the fortress into a livable but not defensible state.
Okay. That's a good start.
Yeah.
So it won't. The roof will only leak a little bit in the fortress, and your walls will provide some protection.
I think that's
But
reasonable.
neither will be like ideal.
Yeah.
Now for it.
And then we have 500 left for anything else.
Makes it easy when you have characters that don't really need much.
Well, I also have some personal funds. How much is anybody's guess? Because damn, that thing's...
You've
Erased
basically
to hell.
erased through that section.
Yeah.
Nice.
I have another 673, I think. And 2 silver and 9 copper.
10 gold. I've had this
511.
had this 10 gold for a very long time.
Very long time.
Never gonna spend it. And never gonna part with it.
You just give it away.
Give it away now.
Give it away. Give it away. Give
Do
it
we need to
away.
get any kind of animals out here for anything besides like our horses?
I mean, livestock is good. Livestock, good.
All right. Well, chickens cost 2 copper pieces. A goat costs 1 gold piece.
Okay.
A sheep costs 2 gold pieces.
Okay.
Pig costs 3 gold pieces. Cow is 10. Ox is 15. If you would like to put any money towards farm animals.
I mean, cows provide milk. Start raising cow.
Chickens.
Uh,
Chickens either.
I mean, we could
multiply a
just
shit ton.
do 500 gold pieces for a variety of livestock.
I would say probably like 400 because then we have just a little bit left over for something random.
Yeah.
And 100's pretty decent if we need to try and get something else. So.
Okay. 400 gold worth of livestock.
Okay.
That should set us up with quite a bit of livestock. Especially like sheep and stuff, getting wool, you can use that for clothing.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. Armor
You
padding.
can breed the cows and then kill the older cows for meats.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of eggs. If we get enough chickens.
Eggs, which is food.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. It's stuff's going to be kind of drifting in piecemeal because, especially if you don't want to be identified, nobody's going to walk in to a mine and spend 1,500 gold on iron and steel because that will look really suspicious. But you can have your various members of your rebellion begin sort of spreading out through the countryside and beginning to acquire, as well as with the ships you have, and beginning to acquire
We need to find a mine.
various
It's in Minecraft.
your various goods. You think you probably shouldn't make purchases like this all that often because sooner or later
There's gonna
somebody
be a
will
trail
take
to follow.
notice.
I think
But-
now is really our golden opportunity to do that. If we're doing it piecemeal,
Yeah.
over time it's going to be more and more dangerous to do so.
Right.
I think that a really good course of action is to get ourselves defensible here, and then start sending people out on recruiting.
Yeah.
Because once we send out on recruiting, that's when information is going to spread, and that can draw attention.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to be ready to defend ourselves in that case scenario.
One thing both Anastasia and Paris are going to bring up is sort of specifics on your plan for liberating Iaera, on account of how there aren't all that many Curian soldiers in Iaera. Most of the Iaera's been a province of Curia for long enough that most of the troops that are here are elves.
Mm-hmm.
So and I mean, they're willing to fight other elves to free their homeland, but they don't necessarily want to. And thus is kind of the balance. It's not like the homeland of the dwarves, where the dwarves are on your side and you're just casting out the Curians.
Mm-hmm.
The issue is a little more complicated than that here.
My hope is with a reasonable show of force and an amount of success, more and more Iarans will rally behind us. And that we are not conquering Iaera, we are uniting Iaera and then defending it. That would be the ideal outcome of this, but I think we have to have a seat of power for ourselves, a secure seat of power, and from there, significant shows of force that an Iaran rebellion is not a fever dream. It is a very real, tangible thing that people can get behind.
If the Curians attempt to retake Iaera, where you will be forced, where the best places to make your stand is entirely dependent on how the Curians choose to attack. If they choose to attack by sea, Themis is the logical goal for them, being a large coastal city.
Full of exceptional, the best sailors in the world.
If they attack by land, by far the best place to hold them would be... Gotta put up my map. The city of Iris, which bridges the really sort of narrow spit of land that connects the sort of northern part of Iaera to the sort of large peninsula Canis and Themis are located. But of course, if they decide to attack by sea, they could just sail straight around Iris. So it won't do you any good. But if they decide to attack by land and you decide to defend Themis, they will retake literally all of Iaera before they reach the city that you told them.
I think when we get to that point, intel is going to be key. Knowing their movements is going to be what determines our level of preparedness. I think we can't flip that coin unless we're forced to. And I don't think that their response will be a light one. And so hedging our bet doesn't really have a positive outcome either.
I also both want to know since you all have been traveling, if you know any more detail about all the rumors of sort of factions within Curia or generals in various places.
Express to them the people I know the names of vying for power and their locations. So, we've got one pretty nearby to us here, it seems like. The kind of Eastern general who seems to be one of the people vying for the Imperial throne. Shoot, if we're lucky, they'll start the Civil War and be wrapped up in that around the same time we start ours.
There is always a risk of that.
Crack and roll.
Unless, of course, war were declared.
Unless, of course.
What's that siren mean?
War were declared.
I suppose part of their question is then, what do you have planned for your grand show of force?
What's reasonable targets? How do we have any knowledge of where a large concentration of Curian soldiers that are true Curian legionnaires, not local auxiliaries?
Talking about executing someone big, or
Talking about winning winning a battle.
There are soldiers in every major city, but there isn't a legion in Iaera.
Probably our show of force would be to take an actual town, like a city.
yeah, depending on how well equipped we are.
Yeah.
We could get a pretty decent chunk of material and help from something bigger like that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be helpful. Unfortunately, I think we actually have to come up with a pretty detailed plan for this one, and that goes against everything we know.
And everything we've done.
Your allies would prefer it if you came up with a detailed plan.
Detailed plan? Never heard of it.
So what do we do normally is we come up with a plan, and then we throw out the plan, and then bum rush. Because we're by what?
You're not far from Canis. You're kind of on the coast south of Canis.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if we have the force to conquer Canis.
I don't think we do.
But that, I think, is definitely... As much as I'd like to say that Themis and my people, my Iarans, are the ones who will rally behind me, there's some of that I'm sure the Praxis name will carry some weight in that situation. But I think that the Canaanites, the Canisites, would culturally be the most likely to rebel. Is that a fair
That's probably true.
assessment? I feel like they would be the average citizen of Canis, I think, would be more likely to rally behind us with a significant show of force than the average person of Themis. Themis is more of the kind of political seat of power, so it's got more Curian influence.
You think historically that is probably.
And Canis is where we already
That's where we stirred up a little bit.
stirred up
earlier.
trouble.
Just random question here. Weren't there dwarves that were really big into like, I don't know if I want to call it like nature magic, but like.
You mean the
nature-
Raven? Oh, the White Claws,
White-
Raven Claws? No, Raven Claws.
White
Harry Potter.
Raven-
White
White
Raven
Raven
Claws?
White
Claws?
Raven
Yeah.
clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might be super useful. If,
We'd have to
wanted
go.
to invite some dwarves somehow.
We would have
It's
to
a
go.
long trip to get them in to ask them, but we could definitely send whatever you want to try and send out to them.
Just,
Yeah, White
If-
Raven.
Yeah.
I think trying to get as much help.
Well,
as we
the
can
problem is I don't think we
physically.
can get a courier to go there.
I mean, you could potentially get a courier to go there if it's a courier of one, like it wouldn't be an imperial courier, obviously.
Yeah.
But I don't know what we ask of them. Like they're like reuniting their own land and potentially still having to defend it. I don't know if they'll like send soldiers to help us
Yeah.
from that far away.
Just in general, if there was people that were wanting to relocate that were skilled.
The war dog.
Oh yeah.
They'd probably come and.
Hey man, if they want to come fuck some shit up, they are welcome anytime.
They
I
wanna-
got some mushrooms with your name on it, buddy. Come on down.
Come on down.
Yeah.
Essentially, like all of our allies that we have are on
All
two.
over
Yeah.
the opposite ends of the world, and we're in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and part of the problem is it like, I mean, even with like, because you guys have sent word out at least to the Golden Claws,
That takes time.
and that takes time to get word back.
That takes time. And regardless of the word we get back, any help they want to send back takes time. I think we're into kind of biding our time. I think we're going to be here for weeks at least. Of
Yeah.
starting to get the stuff in, repair things, start to build up a stockpile of weapons and armor, and start that crafting process. I think we're in probably at least a month's time of
At least.
building up here.
Yeah.
Do you guys want to skip ahead a month then?
I
Yeah.
think so,
Yeah, because
probably.
that's probably the best way to do this. We
I would like to take some time during that month to
Build a chariot.
build a chariot out of ancient olive wood using my carpenter's tools.
You can do so.
Sounds totally random, but I kind of want to build like
Sweet
a
chariot.
separate little shack, I guess, or a house.
You build a house. You'd like.
Cool. Just something kind of off to the side, using some of these scavenger tools and shit. Just something that's different.
I'm over here fiending because I probably haven't been drinking as much because we've been working.
I hate working. It doesn't give me enough time for drinking.
I polish off my bottle of fine brandy or fancy brandy because I had a little bit left. So nice going.
Okay, you guys can, over the course of this month, the village gets repaired up. Did you decide on whether or not you were sending a courier to the blacksmith?
Yeah, I think we
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
should
we would have done that. Yeah.
see if he's willing.
He will eventually show up.
Yay!
Um,
There was much rejoicing.
A lot of your supplies all begin kind of filtering in. Livestock in particular, the stone and like iron, steel, and leather and stuff take a little longer. But like you begin building up kind of stockpiles of a lot of that type of stuff. The fortress looks better. Still doesn't look. It's still definitely not finished, not by a long shot, but it definitely looks. It very quickly gets into a like, very like defensible state, and then it just kind of continues to improve from there. All of your various scouts get better ideas of the surrounding terrain. As they're just able to explore the area.
See, we had more like orchards and stuff around that area. Any resources like different kinds of rocks or stuff that's not just cliffside?
Not necessarily anything that's like
Noteworthy.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm trying to find an old note. Is it? It is.
Very old note.
Very old. I forgot I had this. note.
find a very old note.
Really?
I am a very old note.
They have sent me to the Shadow Realm.
I should really update this old note at some point. Near the end of the month, Ventius will show up.
Nice.
Um,
Good luck, everybody, about to get whipped into shape.
Mm-hmm.
he, despite the fact that
About to gain some character
most of
levels.
these elves are probably
Older than
far older than him, he is absolutely. If you are going to allow him to have any authority here, he
Absolutely.
is going to abuse it ruthlessly. At least as far as beating these sorry excuse
I
for rebels
want
into
a
shape.
full Mulan. Let's get down to,
To
business
business.
montage.
His only restriction is he
To
can't
defeat
the
train too hard
Curians.
with our good weapons. We need training weapons.
Use sticks to practice.
Yeah.
Don't chip the weapons
Oh,
we've
he's
got.
gonna break plenty of sticks over people's heads and shoulders and backs, back the knees.
Back at the knees, back at the
Sad
knees.
spot I've ever met.
He seems somewhat impressed with like what you've made of yourself. At least like you look more tanned, more fit,
And in nicer armor.
and in nicer armor than you were when last you saw each other. And he respects that at the very least.
No, absolutely swap
I don't
some
think I-
stories of what all we've done since.
Have I met? Did I
Oh,
meet
he's
him?
Oh, he's been hearing some rumors. He was one of the people who helped break you out of
okay.
Yeah.
the slave caravan.
They're like, it's you,
With the guy.
Avengers. Yes, right. Well, you gotta forgive me. And
Did you say you've heard some rumors about us?
How long do you have?
Too long, unfortunately.
Well, around the time I was leaving, and growing more common as I was on my way up here, a lot of talk. We've been hearing rumors, I'm pretty sure, were you lot for a while from the edges of the Tabaxi territory, breaking a siege and bandits on the road and whatnot.
that sounds like us, yeah.
A little bit old hat, but yeah.
A lot of people saw you and survived both of those incidents, so word spread pretty well out there. And then more recently, a lot of word about Dwarven homeland getting freed, and
Yep. I
Some-
recall. Yeah.
some names that were getting names and descriptions that were getting thrown around in regards to that.
Yep.
Seems we made a name for ourselves.
Made
And then
something.
as soon as I arrive here, well, the whole countryside's talking, really.
Good.
You free 3 ships of enslaved people and you're marked for life.
Oh, you don't know about. I also did tell people to spread my name. Very intentionally.
Excuse me.
Our whole hope here is to rally people around this cause. They gotta have something to rally around.
Burned down an Imperial garrison, gave a speech in the forum.
Yeah, that we did. Yep.
I left some paperwork too that has my name on it, in the Centurion's office. So
Yeah, but I think the garrison burned down is what he's saying. So you're no.
wait, it burned down the whole garrison?
Not the whole garrison, but you set fire to a garrison.
Yeah, it was just some oil on a table. I didn't realize it burned a decent amount of it. That's good.
You used the oil. You used the anointing oil, did you?
Don't bring it up.
I knew something was different. I remember that now.
He's not as shiny as he once
Yeah.
was.
It's crossed out here, so I never forget. I didn't erase it. I just crossed it out.
Always has a place in his heart.
It's gonna
Hand
be
in my inventory.
that's gonna be me with the alchemy jug if I ever lose it.
Well, you've got some Kenra talking, mostly younger ones, and not a one of them knows how to fight, but people have taken note. I don't think you'll be able to walk freely in this empire for very much longer, if you can now.
I
To be fair,
plan to carve a place for myself to be able to walk freely.
in this land, it's kind of hard to miss the tabaxi and the dwarf. So
You do keep identifiable company. It's true.
Got rid of one bit of identifiable company and replaced it with far more identifiable company.
He's doing well, it seems. Barely recognized him.
He's, from the time I met him, which was only shortly before we met you, to the time he was sailing back, I think that he had quite a transformation. Physically and definitely mentally. Glad to hear he's doing well.
yes,
Well, I'll see what I can do whipping these, sorry excuses for rebels into shape, but little luck I've got of them. I don't think they'll make much of themselves.
I've seen you do quite a bit with a bunch of jackal pups. I think you could make a couple of old Iaeran scurvied sailors with swords into something.
Well, if any of them are smarter than you, I should do all right.
Well, I think you'll have a good lot to work with if that's the barrier of entry.
This guy is a hard ass.
That's why you love him.
I am going to
Pulls
avoid
no
him
punches.
and salute when I walk away.
He taught me a lot. He literally gave me my first character level.
Oh, good.
he saved me from enslavement in tabaxi territory.
So, mechanically, part of what having Aventius will do, Aventius, as a legionary veteran, will be able to really help teach these rebels how legions fight, how they march, standing orders, rules of engagement, how they tend to approach sieges, how they tend to approach defenses. So that's going to give your growing rebel force sort of a specific knowledge base of not just combat and combat training, but specifically how the legions fight, where their weaknesses tend to lie, the strategies they tend to rely on, and stuff like that.
Good.
The other thing that will show up, sort of at the end of this month.
10,000 tabaxi soldiers. Just kidding.
That is no Curian whore.
Brr, brr, brr. Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Unfortunately, they all got distracted at the gates by a ball of yarn that came running down the steps.
Hey, it's a struggle, man.
Just remember when we were marching with that Kinra army and someone threw a rubber ball across the front of our lines.
So we got them to charge.
Threw a ball over the wall. They climbed, they mantled over the whole thing. No ladders.
They just sprinted at the wall and jumped it.
Yeah, it was like that scene in World War Z where all the zombies are just
Crawling on each other to go up the wall.
It was a squeaky ball too. They had no choice.
They had no choice.
Those rubber chickens that scream when
It
you
will
squeeze them.
not be 10,000 tabaxi soldiers.
Damn.
It will be one tabaxi on a hired ship with a hired crew who's sort of small and adorable.
Oh no.
Is it?
We didn't ask for it.
We didn't ask for
As
this. We
everyone's
literally
favorite merchant, Majid.
Oh, okay. Oh, Majid. Sorry. I was thinking it was, what's his face we saved? The Crown Prince.
Oh.
Majid will single-handedly murder half the Curian army. That dude will stab you. I know.
That's who I was wanting to contact. So
Yeah.
He was small and adorable. And it's like, oh no.
dude,
It has a look of a killer.
do not create a black market.
He seems having never been this far west,
Did he bring secret hookahs with him?
he seems just completely out of his league and just sort of staring in wonder at everything he walks past. You just notice a new ship in the harbor early on one day, sort of going about your business and checking on the troops and stuff like that, and sort of on your way down to the village, encounter him sort of wandering lost through your tiny village, just like sort of staring in wonder at all the elves mostly.
I think
Besides
what
me,
I'd
he's
like
the
to
only
do...
tabaxi, right?
Currently, yeah.
I'm gonna like look
And
to
he
Wolf.
is, because you're like,
Tall.
yeah, like 7 feet tall or over 7 feet tall or something like
I
that.
don't remember what I put. I didn't put anything. You
I'm
He
just
is-
6'2", and I dwarfed him so much. He's like your height.
He is probably closer to 4.5 feet tall. He seems kitten-like, partially just because of his size. Like he is
Very small.
like an incredible.
He is literally my
smaller
height.
than you.
Like,
yeah.
Dear God.
As I notice him, I don't like try and catch his attention yet. I'm gonna turn to Wolf and be like, I am a merchant looking to buy many hookahs. If only there was someone with a big shipment of hookahs around here, that would be most helpful. And then kind of give that like coy side eye over towards him.
what are you looking at?
He mostly he really doesn't seem to have heard you. He seems to be like it's like Anastasia has walked by and he seems to just like he's kind of holding a satchel in both hands and he's just kind of like, oh wow.
I'm gonna walk over to him and I'm gonna pick him up and be like, Fishy, just thanks for sore eyes.
Oh, whoa!
Ah! Wolf!
Stop!
Ah!
Wolf!
Wolf!
Straight up.
So I put him down afterwards.
I'll walk over and be like, Majid,
Stop!
it's been a long time.
Tersius, good to see you.
Good to see you. The
I was,
cause got our message, I can see.
Well, that was you remember Lilith, the merchant that we delivered.
Yeah.
The niece to Jalal. Niece, was it? She was something
Niece.
to Jalal.
They're all family out there, aren't they?
The Pastars are a white family. Well, she approached me recently about apparently having been hired by you all for a small shipment of the surplus arms and armor from the war.
That is exactly what we wanted, yes.
Yes.
Well, it's not a terribly large shipment. It's just a couple wagons, but it's on board the ship down the harbor.
Fantastic.
Perfect. We will
I'll
start to
signal
unload.
for like a few. I'll signal for a few like scouts to go
Okay.
get it.
Start unloading. I'll personally go down and help start unloading.
Okay, it is all like tabaxi made stuff.
Which is sweet.
So it's like a bunch of desert arms and armor.
Nice.
But it's definitely all like war surplus. This seems to be stuff that was like it's still quite serviceable. You as a soldier, and Avantius sort of makes this comment as well later. Strongly suspects that
It was pulled off dead people.
no, somebody probably just marked this as being like 2 damage to keep an inventory or 2 worn out to keep an inventory, so it could be quietly sold off.
Ooh, if it's not scrap metal that the blacksmith can manipulate, I might be able to help turn that into serviceable weapon.
Well, it sounds like it is
all-
They
it
are
is all
serviceable. They're all serviceable.
They just lied and said it wasn't good enough to use so they could give it to us.
Yeah. Somebody didn't dot a T and cross an I.
The other thing Majid has is just kind of a couple of letters from out east.
Okay.
All of them signed by your favorite uncle, Jalal.
Ah, Jalal.
Everyone's favorite uncle.
Everyone's favorite uncle. They are literally, every one of them starts with, like, dearest nephew. And he constantly refers to himself as being your uncle.
Tersius Praxis - Pastor.
Wolf Dornson /
Pastor.
Pastar, yeah.
Pastor.
Which seems to include kind of a couple of pieces of information.
How are the Tabaxi doing in the home?
How are you? We are fine. The Curian troop movements are.
The Tabaxi are fine. The big piece of news is I've got so many notes open now. General Junia Sebastiana the
Kind of high general of the East, right?
one of the generals of the East, definitely the most ambitious, is kind of in the later stages of intimidating or recruiting the kind of other legions in the area. At least one general, even the Golden Claws haven't heard anything about in quite some time. All they know is her legion is encamped with this general's forces. The Golden Claws strongly suspect that general is either imprisoned or dead. That general seems to be preparing to march west. He assumes they're going to march west and not sail west, and it kind of comes with a warning of, like, marching west will take them through sort of the mainland part of Iaera, like on the other side of that
Of Iris.
Of Iris. He doesn't know. He assumes their ultimate goal is the capital, but there's not only nothing stopping them, but also, like, they would have multiple reasons to take Iaera along the way. Between just sort of trying to force Iaera onto their side for marching on Curia, or subduing it so they don't have a hostile army to their back when they march on the capital, or even just to once they, or leaving Legion in Iaera so that once they take the capital, they don't have to worry about rebellions there. So there's a warning there. There's also a, like, sort of implied promise that if you can unite Iaera or found in any meaningful way a free Iaera, even if it's just a chunk of Iaera, the members of the court in the Rahani Empire can probably be convinced to recognize the legitimacy of such a nation.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Which may not stop the Curians from immediately reinvading you, but it should at least make them hesitate. He can't guarantee, like, a formal treaty necessarily, at least not right away, but he can...
At least legitimization.
Yes.
That's a big step. I think it's going to start by creating a new free Iaera and then uniting the Iaera around that free Iaera. We have some decisions to make, though. I don't want to free Iaera from an idiot emperor only to hand it over to an ambitious one. But there is the potential of some sort of alliance with this. With this general that's marching on the capital.
And, of course, Majid is now sort of on hand if you have need of a merchant.
I mean, what... Do we have anything of value?
You don't necessarily have a lot in the way of trade goods, but I wouldn't be surprised if you came up with something. Players are always doing that. Players will sell anything.
I'll sell you 30 stones for 1 gold piece.
The stone around our living area isn't anything special, right?
No, I mean there would probably be places for decent quarries farther afield, but those would probably technically where you're living is somebody else's territory.
They just don't know about it.
You think
we're squatters.
You think opening any good spot to, like, open a quarry, like a major operation like that, would
Draw unwanted attention.
Would draw attention, and it would also require you to probably, like, dramatically extend your influence over the surrounding countryside, which is certainly possible.
Right.
But
a little time and.
I think what we do have a surplus of here is lumber, because of how overgrown the woods are around here. So I think that once we feel like we've got serviceable structures, trying to outsource some lumber as a way to insource other things would be useful. Something I think would be really valuable for us to get that's expensive is horses.
Ostriches.
No ostriches!
Majid can get you a great deal on ostriches.
There's no such thing as a good deal. If I'm not getting paid to take this menace off your hands, then it's not a good deal.
But it's got to be such a formidable ally.
Yeah,
Cavalry,
some defensive
especially for a
ostriches.
rebellion, is huge. Hit and run, the ability to move quickly, and just to confront enemy cavalry, like having a lack of cavalry, even if we got a bunch of phalanx spearmen to make spear walls to help hide from cavalry.
You know how many horses we set free and or stole back in the day? That would have been.
We didn't have an army. Yeah,
We didn't have an army. It's like, what were we gonna do with all of them?
Oh yeah, also moving those.
that's something that could be stolen.
Horses. Oh yeah.
We can
The
find.
hard
We can
thing
probably
is
find
getting them
encampments.
here.
Find encampments and.
What do you mean?
We were able to
Getting
bring
them
our-
here?
Yeah,
We
can
ride them.
Yeah, like one individual trip at a time. I just mean like they would know which direction we're going, so eventually they'd be able to find all these stolen horses are going the exact same direction. Everyone go for your horses.
Well, I mean, by this point, we've been here long enough that we all probably know ways to get here from other.
I mean, we could also march the horses to a pair of our big ships on the coast and then sail ourselves in. We don't take the overland
That's
route
true,
coming
yeah.
back.
The only
Could
thing,
have a pickup spot.
the only reason I was worried about it was because it's
They
not
ran all our horses into the sea.
The mad bastards!
because it's not completely defensible yet. That's all I was worried about.
Yeah,
I mean, if we don't give a shit, who cares? But
No.
I mean, I think either way, I think that's probably where we're stopping for now. As you
Yeah.
guys can continue to come up with your various plans.
Yes.
You have a merchant at your disposal. Not that you really have anything to trade, but you'll find something.
Majid,
Majid.
I'm adding him to our revolution.
I have summoned Majid, the merchant.
You're a little.
Majid uses stab and stun. It's very effective.
every time, dude.
Hey, he only killed 2 people.
And from the sounds of it, in the most brutal way. So.
It's just a straight
with,
stab
with
to the
a
chest.
knife.
With a
A knife.
A knife.
Um,
A knife.
So I think, a little bit of time between sessions and stuff here will let you guys kind of hopefully come up with some ideas, look over your various resources. And you do have various, you do still have various contacts and messages out there and whatnot, so you're making good progress.
Mm-hmm.
We started the session tonight, and you had 1 soldier recruited, no arms or armor, and now you have a whole
And
bunch
only
of
one
soldiers,
small boat.
and only 1 small boat. Now you have 4 boats, a whole 300 soldiers, a whole
A
bunch
serviceable
of arms and armor.
fortress.
Mhm.
Wall.
Town.
It's good progress. Yeah,
Doing good.
That's what rebellions are made of.
you keep
This is what rebellions are made.
you keep making these kind of leaps and bounds.
Hey,
and
now.
you guys will have your own empire in no time.
You got in the episode. We've gone full goofy.
To be honest, we started full goofy,
Yeah.
so
That's fair.
we've come full circle.
So thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.